Yo, what's up? What's up, plebs? We really are here today. We're gonna talk about DDDs and my experience with the deck. So I had the deck. I got the deck when it came out, and I used this to play in the Xbox One tournament where I got top 8 in, and then a Invasion Vengeance case tournament which I won, and then I played at ARG Hartford and I scrubbed out by round 6. But it's a learning experience, it's a teachable moment, and here to tell you the deck I played at those events.
So, can you tell us what you learned from Dark Side of Dimensions?
Oh yeah, so we just got back from watching the Dark Side of Dimensions, and wow, Kaiba is like gay for the Pharaoh, because holy crap, that entire movie is just him really wanting to beat Yugi, even though if he just had a little bit of perspective, he would realize that he is like one of the greatest technological inventors of all time. Like, if Kaiba was alive today, he would put like Elon Musk, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs, Tesla, all those guys to shame, because he built a damn space elevator just so he can go build like the Millennium Puzzle in peace, and he makes like this weird, real solid vision doing technology just so he can play card games against the Pharaoh. Like it's a really weird movie. It's a really anime movie. Like it was pretty hilarious. It's probably the best comedy of 2017. So yeah, if you could see that movie, it's probably all done for showings by the time you're watching this. But yeah, you should see that movie to get the obelisk, even though it's like gold rare. But yeah, so onto the deck of 5. I swear to God, I'm gonna go through these cards as quickly as possible, since you should probably know how these cards work by now. So I play 3 Kepler, because, you know, standard. 3 Thomas, it should be standard, but people for some reason don't max out on this guy.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess because they don't think the rank 8 play is good, or the pendulum effect is good, but yeah. 3 Ragnarok, one of the best boss monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now.
How do you have rares?
Because I don't care. I just use the ones from the structure deck, because I'm a pleb. This one is not from the structure deck. You have to pick these up. 3 Swirl Slimes, standard. And then on to like the newer cards. I play 3 DD Lamia. So this card is like the tuner for the deck. Like, it's the primary tuner. You don't use like Night Howling, because he sucks. He restricts your summoning. So this chick is good because you use this with like the fusions to like make like high level synchros. They're like really good. And her main effect is that you can send a DD or Dark Contract card from your hand field to the grave to special summon her. She's like an on-theme glow-up. So you use this like fire off like multiple synchro summons in a row, and like you get like so many combos off her. Like if you open her and like this, like the sky's the limit. Like you could do so much with just like these cards. So yeah, you gotta max out on this chick. And for ARG Hartford, so here's like one of the MVPs of the deck. So for the Xbox One tournament and the case tournament, I just side decked this guy, but he was so powerful that for ARG Hartford, I just made this guy, and I don't really regret it at all. If you saw the original deck profile for DDs I just mained Vanity Screen, but I mentioned how I probably wouldn't be playing him going forward, but I didn't have dimensional barriers, so I was like, okay, I need like some sort of like powerful card that just like ends the duel, especially if like they max see me and I have to stop. So Vanity Screen was like a good substitute for that, and most decks don't have it out to this guy, and it's really good because everyone tries to kaiju you. So if you have this guy, they can't special summon, so all those kaijus are just dead cards. So yeah, this guy is really powerful. I played 2 Necro Slime. I had to make room for the Vanity Fiends and the hand traps, so something had to get cut. So I put this guy down to 2 because he's more of like, he's, as we like to say in Yu-Gi-Oh!, a superior extender, or maybe like an inferior extender. Like, this guy doesn't start plays, but like when you made plays, like this guy's really good. So I figure, well, you could search most of the cards in this deck like several times over, so I'd rather just play 2 of this guy. And then I played 2 of the new card, DD Savant Copernicus. Honestly, you should play 3 of these, but I was maining Vanity Fiends, so I had too many normal summons, so I cut this guy down to 2. His main effect is that you can send a DD or Dark Contract monster from your deck to your graveyard when he is normal or special summoned. And there's no Dark Contract because you want to send with that effect. So you just send like Necro Slime or Lamia or Swirl Slime or Thomas if you try to pull off the Ragnarok Thomas combo. And his Pendulum Scale is pretty useless. He just restricts you from making Pendulum summoning anything other than DD monsters. He also negates spell effects that would inflict burn damage to you, which when he was first announced, like all the way back in December 2015, it was like, oh wow, this guy can negate waiver guys. But despite having over 15 pendulum monsters in the deck on average, DDs is you don't really pendulum summon that much, and also waiver guys is banned, so that effect literally never comes up. And then I played 2 DD Orthros. I wanted to cut it to 1, but this card's like on paper, if you're like solitarying this deck, this card's kind of just useless. You always banish him with, or use it for Thomas and stuff like that. But like in the actual game, this card's like so useful. Like just having. So basically, his effect is it's kind of like Archery Eccentric, but like a little worse. So his Pendulum Scale is that you can target another DD or Dark Contract card you control and one spell trap card on the field, and you destroy it. So you use this to like fire off, back row, like set cards, or like Vanity's Emptiness, and it's just a searchable like spell and trap removal, and like that's just so useful. Like it's really good at like going through the opponent's back row, and it helps you like not get floodgated. So this card's extremely useful, and even like you can also use them for like Thomas, so like do Thomas effect and stuff like that. So he's such a high utility card. I play 2 copies because you don't really want to search him out. You kind of just want to have him in your hand, and you don't want to lose them to like Power Desires and stuff like that. His monster effect isn't that useful because he is a Pendulum Tuner, but if he is special summoned, you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Fiends. So you mainly just use him for the other effect, which is if you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, or if you just take damage. So this is kind of like Gores, where you like use this on your opponent's turn, so you don't get like killed. So it can protect you in a pinch, and this is just a very high utility card. And even like going first, you can use it for like Allure of Darkness or like Thomas. So it's never dead.
That deck is really good at not having dead cards.
Yeah, like I mean, you need multiple cards to like do anything in this deck, but it's very easy to get to those cards. And then I play 2 of my most hated card in the game right now, second only to Dimensional Barrier, 2 Max C. So this deck is really good going first, but going second, it can be a bit of a problem. So I played Hand Traps. Actually, yeah. So I also played 2 Ghost Ogres because Max C is not really that good if you don't play Hand Traps with it. So I made these for ARG Hartford, and it was kind of a mistake because I played against 3 Metal Flows in a row, and all of my losses at ARG Hartford were to Metal Flows. I literally lost the tournament to Metal Flows, and I always drew the Max C. And every time I activate Max C against Metal Flows, they Pendulum summon 5 monsters. I draw 1 card, and then they pass, and then they just have like a Kieran on board. So it's like I'm just screwed. Like this card is like so like half and half. Like it's so finicky to me. Like I can never effectively use this card. And I played 2 Ghost Ogres because I expected to play a lot of mirror matches, and I played like 1.
I'm surprised you didn't play a lot.
Yeah, if you look at the deck list for ARG Hartford, there was not a whole lot of DDDs, even though I believe it won the event. But yeah, so this...
No, Blue Eyes won the event.
I saw a deck profile from Glasgow that said that DDDs won, so I don't know what's going on.
Jones won them?
Yeah, we'll get the fact checkers on that after we're done with this video. But yeah, so I made 2 Ghost Ogres. This card's useless. Like, I don't know when this chick is ever going to be good. Like, this card was, like, at $70 for, like, when it first came out. And everyone's just like, oh, yeah, it'll be good when Pendulums come out. And then the Pendulums come out, and we get, like, Pepe, and this card's, like, barely useless. Like, it's barely useful. And then there's the whole thing with the ABCs, where it's like, oh, yeah, you hit the Union Hanger, and then the ruling against the ABC Union Hanger is how you can't, like, stop the search and stuff like that. And so I mainly just brought these in for the mirror match. They had like DC utility elsewhere, but when I played against 3 Metal Foes at the event, I would Ghost Ogre their scales, and they would just have another scale, and then I literally just went neg 1. Like this card is like really bad. And, like as a main deck choice, I don't even know how good it is even in Zodiac format because they can like play around this card pretty well. Like yeah, like if I were to change something, I would definitely take this out. I mean, honestly, maybe take Max C out, but I don't know. I feel like next tournament you're really gonna need it. I just have like bad luck with that card. Speaking of having bad luck with a draw card, 3 Upon Desires, staple. Apparently not a staple, but it's in like every deck that's won the past event for the last like 4 or 5 months. You max out pretty much like all of your cards, so you really can't get screwed over by this card unless you like draw 2 off of Desires, which is extremely rare. 3 Allure of Darkness. This is good because it's not once per turn. So unlike something with Pod Desires where you draw multiples, it's like sucks. But with this, it just helps you like dig deep, and you just keep going and like draw all your hand traps and like your vanity spins or like your combo pieces, and you can banish stuff like you don't need, like double Thomas or double like orthros and stuff like that. Like you always have something to banish. Like this card's extremely powerful. 3 of one of the best search cards in the game. Dark Conjure of the Gate. It's extremely powerful. Once per turn, you can just add a DD monster from your deck to your hand, and you can add Kepler and stuff like that. Like it's really powerful. Like, it's a staple. I play 1 Dark Conjure with the Swamp King. I kind of have to play it, but like when playtesting new support, it just wasn't as effective as like Necro Slime or Swirl Slime. I don't really know why, but to make room, I cut this down from 2 to 1 to make room for the hand traps and stuff, which was obviously a mistake. Like, I feel like going forward, I should just go back to 2 copies, because if you do DD Lamia and you send this to the graveyard, you just don't have access to that for the rest of the duel. And if you banish your Pot of Desires, like that's kind of it. And like you can make big comeback plays with this deck just off of 1 card. And to do that, you kind of need like Dark Conjure with the Swamp King. So I'm probably gonna bump this back up to 3, or like to 2 or 3. The 1 for 1, because it gives you 4 copies of Lamia and 4 copies of Kepler, which then searches out every other card in the deck, so you gotta play it. And then the 1 Emptiness, because you just blow your opponent out the gates. With this in the Vanity Screen, I had like 4 cards in my deck that just said, you can't spell summon, which is pretty good when you play against Kaiju Trains.
What?
Yeah, I played against Kaiju Trains round 1, and I had Vanity Screen going first, and it was like, yeah, I have all these Kaijus, I can't do anything, which is fun. Nice deck. Alright, so that's the main deck. It's 40 cards, as it should be. And onto the extra deck. So I play 2 Flame King Genghis. I'm probably going to bump this up to 3, but for all the combos, you need at least 2 copies of this card, so I played 2. I ended up using the space for the 3rd to play like another Synchro, but it wasn't that effective. So going forward, I'm just going to keep playing 3 of this. But yeah, so you got to play 2 of this guy. 1 Oracle. In my last deck profile, I played 3 of this guy, but now that we have Synchros, you don't really have room to just play 3 of this guy. So you just play 1, pretty much just for the combos, because you would like Necro Slime and like summon this guy, and then you tune it with Lamia to make like a level 8 Synchro. So you gotta play him for that. Now this guy is new. DD, we play 1 Beowulf. You make this with Swirl Slime and like Ragnarok, or like Necro Slime with one of your other Synchros, like Oracle or Genghis. And his effect is he does piercing damage, and he gives it to all of your other DDD guys. And during the standby phase, you can blow up all spell and trap cards in the spell and trap zones. Although the key difference there is that you don't destroy field spells and you don't destroy pendulum scales. But this card's really good for like making rank 8 plays. It is also really good for putting pressure on your opponent. Like if your opponent like bricks, or they're playing like a trap deck and you just summon this going first or something, you put intense pressure on them, because they can't just keep sending cards to pass, because you just pierce through their defenses and blow up all their back row. So this card's like really good tempo card. And like a lot of times I would like do Omega, which we'll get to later, and like put back a Necro Slime, and like on my turn, I banish this, I banish Necro Slime and like one of my fusions, and like make this guy, and I just go at him, and like you just kill him. Like that 3,000 attack is pretty big, especially when you got piercing damage. Then we play 1 Alex, for the combo. 1 Crystal Wing. You Synchro Lamia with this to make this guy. He's pretty good. 1 Omega. This card's actually really good. I actually, if I don't know what my opponent is playing, I would usually make this instead of Crystal Wing.
Also exactly what Konami said.
Yeah, because you give yourself an extra card, and then on top of that, you take a card away from your opponent. And especially against like the mirror match or against pendulums, like if you time it right, you'll just like take out so many cards in your opponent's hand. And yeah, like this guy's really good, especially if you do Pot of Desires, because then if you have this guy, it's pretty much just mill 10, draw 2. Which is, yeah, so this guy's amazing. We play 1 of the new guy, DDD Curse King Siegfried.
Cursing Siegfried.
Yeah, so this guy lets you negate a face-up spell or trap card on the field until the next standby phase. And if he dies, you gain 1,000 life points for each start contact you control. So this guy's just really good because he just negates spell cards, and against like normal spell and trap cards, you just straight up negate them and then they go to the graveyard. And against like continuous trap or spell cards, you can like turn them off for a turn. So actually, like during like the Xbox One tournament, I was playing against ABC, and he would have Vanity's Emptiness up, but I had this guy on the field, so I just target his Emptiness and negate it, and then I would spell summon a bunch of monsters, and then its effect will wear off on his turn, and then he was locked under Vanity's Emptiness, which was so hilarious. And this guy's also just good with like back row, because if they Twin Twister or like MST or back row, you can like negate it, and like it protects all of your board, so this card's very important. We played Trishula because there's a 2-card combo where you can summon this with, I think, Swirl Slime and Dark Conjuring the Gate, or Dark Conjuring the Gate and Lamia. So there's a 2-card combo where you can summon this, and it's just really good because it's non-target banish, which is some of the best forms of removal. We play 1 Hyper Librarian because you Synchro Summon a lot in this deck, and there are some combos where you can make this and like Synchro Summon after that, and you just draw a bunch of cards. You tune this with Lamia and Copernicus, and that's how you make it. Or if you somehow special summon a Kepler, you can normal summon the Orthros, and like that's how you can also Synchro Summon like that. 1 Formula Synchron because that Kepler just like sits there and does nothing, so you tune it with Lamia and you draw a card. And obviously if you get both of these, you draw 2, which is nice. 1 Moonlight Rose. I figured I needed another level 7 Synchro to go into outside Alexander if I couldn't make the Crystal Wing play. So I played 1 Moonlight Rose, but it never came up. I'd rather just have like a 3rd fusion or something. So I'm probably going to cut this. And then I play 1 Titanic Galaxy because this is the primary thing you go to with Thomas when you do his effect. And he's really good at like creating unbreakable boards. His other effect is also really good because he can redirect attacks. So like it protects your Keplers and your Copernicus that are just sitting on the field, so you don't just like eat a shit ton of damage. Then we play 1 Kali Yuga. This card's really good, especially against trap decks going first, and also against pendulum decks, like because you just clear the board and like you negate all of the basic card effects. So I mean, if they had like any really good back row though, they'll usually stop like the Ragnarok or the Thomas. So, but like this card's still really important to like clear all the spell traps on the field. And it just puts intense pressure on your opponent. And then I played 1 Beatrice because you would take 2 Genghis and you overlay into this and you can send Lamia. You need it for like combos where you like open poorly and you only have like Swirl Slime or Necro Slime, because then you make this and you can send Lamia and usually end up like Beatrice and Omega. Once we get to Zodiac format, I'm probably gonna swap this out and play this guy. Because he has an effect that puts X-Check monsters face down, which is really good against Zodiacs, as it turns out. So next format, I'm probably just going to play this card instead and just like turn around this guy. Because this guy's really good, because if they destroy him by a card effect or banish him, he'll just special summon him back face down. And if he's flipped face up, you can just send 1 card in the field to the graveyard and it doesn't target. So I'm probably going to switch it to that. Alright, that's the extra deck, it's 15 cards, and now onto the side deck I played for the event. So I played 3 Denko Sekka. This is one of the best cards DDDs can play to counter trap decks. This card's so good. Like, you don't really use your normal summon all that much outside of like Kepler and Copernicus, but even when you have this card, you can usually like play around those cards because like you can use them for scales and stuff like that. So Denko's really good because you summon her and then you do the fusion spells and then you just like pop off. And I would side this in against like ABCs and Metal Foes and Paleozoics and stuff like that. And this card's extremely useful. It's even more savage if you could summon Denko Sekka and then you bring out Kali Yuga and you just blow up all their sets, which is nice. But yeah, this is also extremely important because Dimension Barrier like really screws this deck over. Well, it's not as bad as like other decks. Like if they Deep Barrier Call Fusion, it's pretty bad. So if Denko Sekka, like you can just get the jump on your opponent and they can't activate it. And it's like one of the few ways you can counter Dimensional Barrier. Also against Metal Foes, if they don't have Kieran, Denko Sekka just beats them because they can't activate their full Metal Foes, their Deep Barriers, their Strikes, and they can't activate any of the Metal Foes pendulum scales. So like you have this, like it's better than Twin Twister, like honestly in my opinion. Like this helps you like go off. And I played 2 DD Crow for the mirror match, and I also brought it in against ABCs. This is good when you're going second because it disrupts your opponent by banishing a key card from the graveyard. So it's mainly in case I win game 1 or game 2, and then my opponent goes first game 3 or game 2. So that way I can like not die. Then I played 2 Gamma Seals just for spot on removal. I bring this in against Melfos. I used to bring this in against ABC, but then I decided to stop siding it and just side in like these guys, because I figure like between the Ghost Ogre and this, they wouldn't even make ABC Buster Dragon. So by doing that, I would just Denko their back row and then I just go off because they don't have Buster Dragon. Like you just stop them. But like this was just a good removal card. And I played 2 Lava Golem. This was for the mirror match when they make Titanic Galaxy and Omega or Crystal Wing. You just like summon this in defense mode, and then you just eat 2 of their monsters, and then you can't normal summon the turn you use this guy, like you summon this guy to your opponent's field, but you don't really need to normal summon all that much. So this is like an improved like removal card that this deck can like use, and it's actually not that hard to summon and get rid of because you can give it to him in defense mode, and then you just beat over it with like any of the other guys. So this is like arguably better than Gamma Seal in like a lot of scenarios.
I see Lava Golem everywhere nowadays.
What?
I see Lava Golem everywhere nowadays.
Yeah, when there's like when they have like 2 big monsters, except no substitutes. Then I played 3 Cosmic Cyclones. This is pretty much for Metal Foes, and also against anybody that would side deck Anti-Spell Fragrance. You really don't need like stuff like Twin Twisters in this deck, although it does help. But I feel like Denko Sekka just does a better job. Like Denko and Orthros, they tend to just do better jobs at removal. But if they have Anti-Spell Fragrance, you kind of need like some sort of quick play spell to like stop it. So I brought in 3 Cosmic Cyclones because it's good against like Venoms and stuff like that. Also, you don't get rid of cards, so you don't get rid of the key combo piece you need in your hand. The 3 anti-spells.
The artifacts.
Yeah, and that's also good against artifacts in the next format. And I play 3 anti-spells because you summon this and or this guy, and you set on an anti-spell, and you just win the duel. Like going first, this deck has such a high win rate that a lot of times I would just, if I would lose game 1, I would just immediately win game 2, like in like 5 minutes. Like this deck is savage. Yeah, and that's the deck. This deck's gonna get power creeped. I'm not gonna lie to you, this deck gets power creeped like 2 weeks from now, but it was a blast playing this deck, and it'll still be good when they inevitably hit Zodiacs. So yeah, it's a really powerful deck. It's one of my favorite decks of all time, honestly. It's a lot.
Are you thinking of running one Riot King Charcoal in the main to go against Zodiac?
I'm gonna think about it, honestly. It's gonna be pretty brutal if the Zodiac players play Abyss Dweller. Like if they have Dryden Abyss Dweller, like what the hell do you do? But we'll figure that out when we get to it. But for now, this is the deck I played for like the past like 2 weeks in Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's been a blast, honestly. And we're coming for you, PewDiePie. Coming for you with my Beowulf, and we're gonna eat you alive. Peace.
Peace.